Hey, Mark here. I just have a fun announcement for you. So, we recently started doing these Final Fight episodes, and we've been putting them up with the movies, the regular movie, films, and flicks episodes. However, the Final Fight episodes people really loved. So, we figured that we would start a brand new podcast just called Final Fights, brought to you by Movies, Films, and Flicks, where it's nothing but final fights in movies, where we discuss every punch, bite, head kick, gut punch, everything you can think about. We do a lot of research, and they're short episodes. They're probably about 20 to 30 minutes. They're really quick to listen to, and they just talk about all your favorite final fights. So head to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and rate, review, and subscribe, and listen to Final Fights. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you. Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a legendary Tom Tresimer, a former Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and Green Beret. He served 6 tours in Desert Storm, 4 in Bosnia, 3 each in Angola, Somalia, Mozambique, Nicaragua, and Sierra Leone. Recipient of 16 Purple Hearts, 3 Congressional Medals of Honor, 7 Presidential Medals of Bravery, and he was the starting tight end for the University of Texas El Paso. Tom Tresimer.
Go Miners. Go UTEP.
Go Miners. So my cousin Johnny Moore was actually the tight end for UTEP in the early 2010s. So he loved this. This is one of his favorite films, and he's the one that sent us the questions for this. So I have some family who might have met MacGruber at an alumni reception.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, he's Johnny Moore. He's big, 6'5", 240. And then we have MacGruber. So when MacGruber, we did some math, Tom. Let's just get to this right off the bat. We did some math about how old he is and when he played football and where he was. So I have MacGruber at being 54 years old during the making of this film and when it came out in 2010.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Because, all right, so we have him playing football either between 74 and 78 or 75 and 79, correct?
Yes.
And then he was the starting tight end. So he couldn't have been the starter freshman, sophomore year, correct?
Probably not.
And you found some stats for him. So we figured, can you tell me about the record when he was playing, what his record would have been?
So do you want to dive into really quick how we got back to these dates?
Yeah. Oh, so all of his different missions and how we base the data?
Yeah.
All right. So he he prevented an assassination of Jimmy Carter, right? So then we figured out when Jimmy Carter was president. We also learned that he served 6 tours in a 1-year war in Desert Storm, which is kind of great. But then he also had to serve 4 in Bosnia. And then he also did 15 tours between Angola, Somalia, Mozambique, Nicaragua, and Sierra Leone. Also, when you look at Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, and Green Beret training, normally it takes about 1.5 to 2 years, but let's say he's kind of a savant and he did 1.5 for each. But then you also need your training. You're not always going all over the place. You got to wait for your papers. You got to wait to shipped out earlier in your career. So we're thinking he saved Carter in 80 or 81, right?
Yes.
Right. So he saved, but in order for him to save Carter during those years, that means he must have been graduated from UTEP by 78, 79, which would give him time to enter boot camp and get bumped up ahead of everybody to be in a spot to save Carter.
That sounds right, yes.
And so after he saves Carter, that's when he does a lot of his missions overseas. And then he goes to Desert Storm and he serves 6 tours for some stupid reason. It's insane. And so he's done there by 91, 92. Let's say he stays around for a while. And then he teams up with Vicky St. Elmo and his crew, all the wrestlers, Chris Jericho, all those guys. They team up. Then he meets the love of his life and he kind of settles. Well, no, he goes to college. So wait.
I feel like he met them back at UTEP.
Yeah, he met them at UTEP. Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't get married for that long.
So he met her in the 70s, and then they got married in 2000.
Yeah.
After he had probably calmed down a lot. And then she gets blown up in 2000, and then he takes 10 years off, and that's when they get to him in 2010. So if he started at UTEP in 74 or 75, he's about 18. So if he's born in 56, plays at 74, so he's born in 56, then you just do the math, and he's 54 years old.
He's an old man by the time this movie rolls around.
He's looking pretty spry.
He looks good for it. He has a very youthful appearance.
And we're assuming that this world is different that they live in. However, all the kind of same events happen. So, there's a scene where Ryan Phillippe is shot 75 times in his bulletproof vest, in front and in the back. And he wakes up with nary a bruise. So this isn't our Earth, correct?
I wish it was our Earth.
Because he can rip throats. He pulls a turkey on throats.
He does. He goes for the turkey.
I mean, he obviously, there's Roadhouse, there's those kind of movies, but this is a heightened world. So this is another timeline of Earth, would you say?
This is probably the timeline that the Marvel movie should be in.
Yeah. All this time, he had never shot a gun. He had no knowledge of weapons training. Was he so good at throat ripping that the SEALs, the Rangers, the Green Berets didn't...
How does he get through those type of training without ever firing a weapon?
He doesn't know how to point them.
Yeah, I don't know where the incompetence lies. Is that with MacGruber, or was that with the military training?
Maybe they just
to avoid getting him to that point.
This guy, he just rips. Now, he just keeps. He succeeds in everything he does. So do you think the military just sort of deals with him? Because they know he kills happily. He is a gleeful murderer. So if you are the SEALs, the Rangers, the Green Berets, but you're supposed to be a team when you join them. He is not a team. Well, no, he loves being part of teams. No, he is a team guy, isn't he?
Originally, he's a team guy with people he knows. He's got his own little clique of killer stoppers.
Yeah,
and if you're not in that inner circle, he doesn't want anything to do with you, and he's going to headbutt you and break your nose.
Yeah. Oh wow, that scene of dialogue. So he has Frank Corver, played by Chris Jericho, Tut Beamer, Mark Hemley, Vernon Freedom, Tug Phelps, Tanker Lutz, and Brick Hughes. And this is my favorite. Do you know this dialogue pretty well when MacGruber goes up to Frank Corver? Do you know the dialogue?
It's one of the pieces of dialogue I always want to remember, but I never can.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's not one of my favorites. It is. I just struggle to remember this piece because it's so perfectly laid and timed on top of each other.
And so I read all of Chris Jericho's autobiographies. He has 3 of them, and he talked about his time in this movie. And they said that they loved him a lot. And Chris Jericho, his line delivery is really funny in this scene.
But it is good.
So MacGruber walks up. He goes, "Looks like you're keeping your bod pretty tight." And Frank Gruber's like, "You're looking pretty good yourself." Well, every day's a workout when you got to carry around a 20-pound python in your jeans. And then Frank Corver says, "You and your dick comments. It's fun to say them." And then
it's fun to say them.
Yeah, it's fun to hear them. That's why I say them. And you know the last one. That's why I say them, and that's why I listen. That's the repartee of people who have been to war together.
It is. That's the brothership bond that builds.
He is a warrior, but he is a sad little man, MacGruber, is he not?
He is sad, and I think it goes back to his college days, honestly.
Do you think because of his failures in the games at tight end when he was playing? Because their record at tight end, they started off almost bowl game eligible, right? And then they collapsed.
They did. So by going back and diving into history here, we find out that they're at the time of his freshman year in 74, or what we believe to be his freshman year, there's only one tight end at UTEP that is there for 4 years in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And so assuming that this is MacGruber, who goes by the name of Dean Alcorn at the time. So if anyone's wondering what MacGruber's real name is, it is Dean Alcorn. But I digress. They are 4-5 midway or at the tail end of the 74 season, looking to become bowl eligible for the first time in years. And they get absolutely annihilated over their last 2 games, and they fail to make the playoffs. And then over the next 3 years at college, they go 3-31.
Wow.
I mean, that's going to scar anybody.
And also, he didn't get with his wife quite yet. So he was not with Casey. Casey chose Dieter von Kumpf instead of him. So he lost the lady, and his football career kind of went down the toilet because his team could only win 3 games in 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible record. And on top of that, I mean, being a starting tight end for a D1 school, I think every player that plays in D1 has aspirations to go into the next level. I mean, I can't imagine anyone that doesn't want to go to the NFL. There's only one guy from UTEP that was drafted in the 70s. I mean, that's got to stick with MacGruber.
Yeah. And so do you think you can't be a 5'11", 150 tight end. So he was pretty big back then. He had to have been at least 220.
Yeah, he must have been to be able to be a tight end on the line. Yeah.
What was his best year? He had one year where he had a decent amount of. He had 370 yards one year, correct?
He did. So he averaged 11 games per season, and then his best year was 76. He had 14 receptions for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, that's not bad. He had 5 touchdowns overall, correct?
He did. I mean, those are very MacGruber numbers.
It's like so. I think he seems like a guy that would put up decent numbers on a terrible team, but horrible numbers on a great team.
That's fairly accurate. That's probably how he is later in life as well.
Now, okay, so there's a speech he makes later on in the movie about Casey and Dieter, what happened to them in college, and I'm going to read it right now, and I want us to do the math, okay? So I'm going to read this. So there's a scene in the movie where we learn that MacGruber, his wife was killed by Dieter von Kumpf, but it turns out that Casey was originally with Dieter, and then they broke up. So here's the speech. To this day, I have no idea why Dieter hates me. We actually all went to college together between 1974 and 78, we're assuming. Believe it or not, we were very close friends. Then after graduation, he got engaged to her. He asked me to be his best man, and right about that time, I started banging her and mowing her box. She was actually the first person I felt comfortable enough around to let her eat out my butt. Anyway, shortly thereafter, she left him for me. She was actually carrying his child at the time. I asked her to terminate it, obviously, so we could start fresh, and she agreed. We were so in love, and he took that from me.
Oh my God. I gotta apologize to our listeners for laughing in the background of that. Every line in this movie just makes me laugh hysterically.
Now, go back and watch the clip and just watch at Ryan Phillippe's slow descent into being uncomfortable. At first he thinks it's kind of nice, and then he starts just being appalled by what happened.
It turns so drastically. And it's all right there in the middle of that when it's about that time. I started banging her and mowing her box. I mean, it's so awful.
And they're
becoming
so terrible. And also, before he tells the story, Vicky St. Elbow, played by Kristen Wiig, who should be wearing costumes in every movie ever made. She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. He's like, 1 or 2. And she's like, shut up. He's like, 2 then. And she just is like, you cad. And then she walks strutting away. Like, she's obviously going to take that's what they said in the commentary. But it's such a weird scene. Now, I want to say something real quick. I listened to the commentary of this. And Jorma, the director, he's one of the guys from Lonely Island. He wrote for Saturday Night Live. He took a sip of beer every time they said Mac or MacGruber. And he got pretty toasted by the end of it. And by the end of it, he had to use the restroom really bad. And so he left, and he just made another guy talk for the whole time because he couldn't sit around there anymore, bearing it. I thought that was pretty funny. That
is great. I think I read that in somewhere as well, that he ended up drinking roughly 4 beers.
Yeah, and he's a little guy. Like, whatever. He's probably he hadn't eaten much, and he's probably $150, 150, so like 160 pounds. So, I mean, 4 beers in the span of, this is a very short movie, by the way. With credits, it's probably, with credits, it's 90 minutes. So it's probably
90-ish, yeah.
Yeah, it's an 85-minute movie. But they had a $10 million budget on this. That's it. And they shot it in 28 days. What would this be like as an AD for you? 28 days, $10 million budget.
I think it'd be pretty chaotic. It'd be tough. The production value of this movie is surprisingly really solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice.
Jorma and Will Forte wanted this to be like the Die Hard of action comedies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted this to be like a Joel Silver mid '80s produced action movie.
And it
And so it's
is.
like everything is, it's solid. Like it's good camera light ups or lighting sets, good costumes for, I guess, as good as you can get for what MacGruber's wearing, good set design, and they've got a fair amount of extras in some scenes too.
And I think a part of that goes, the cinematographer, Brandon Trost. He had worked on Halloween 2 with Rob Zombie, Lords of Salem. He also did This Is the End, Crank High Voltage, Neighbors, Disaster Artist, Can You Ever Forget Me, Popstar Never Stop Stopping, The Interview, That's My Boy, and Ghost Rider 2. So he had a ton of experience. So he was probably able to move quick on this because he was working on horror films before he started on this film. And if you come from cheap horror, you move quick. So that probably helped as far as getting the shots needed.
Oh, it would have to. I mean, every day would be cram packed. I bet they were doing 14, 15-hour days easy on this movie.
And they also use a lot of smoke and wet downs too to aid with. Didn't have enough money for a lot of lighting, so
they do.
They just use a lot of. I mean, which is smart. That aids in that. And in the beginning, when they find them at the village, they wanted to burn it down, but they didn't have any money for it.
You probably got to think of all the ad-libbing and improv that's going on with the dialogue as well.
Oh gosh, and that wastes so much time too with lockups and all that.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, every scene you're doing, you've got, let's say average, you got to do at least 4 takes per camera setup to get it the way you want. Then on top of that, you're doing different lines, and then you're going to be doing multiple takes for different lines, and it's going to compound.
So many Molsons. So there's a scene. So this was Lorne Michaels. Lorne Michaels wanted to make this movie, and they're like, we don't know how to do this. And this was originally pitched by Jorma, and he originally had an idea where a guy defused bombs by using dog feces and like pubic hair, and none of his assistants wanted to give him the stuff because it was gross. And then it morphed into the thing with Shia LaBeouf and Jonah Hill and Charles Barkley in the Pepsi ad and became the movie. But they didn't even know if they wanted to make this. Then somehow they were able to wrap their head around it, and it's a very tight plot. So they rip off what Rambo. It's like Rambo 3 and Hot Shots Part 2 in the beginning. He gets back into business. He puts together a team, and they blow up, which is amazing. Homemade C4. Oh, wow. Now, I made a movie in college called Attempt 318, where I had homemade C4 in it as well. And I did that before these guys, so they might have ripped me off. I'm just saying. No, they never ripped me off. They never saw what I made. So they obviously
Did you kill all your own teammates in that movie?
We did shoot a guy a quarter mile with a homemade jetpack.
I think you're what you did inspired this film, though.
But this is a $10 million movie. A lot of people can look at this film and... Okay, Tom, I wanted to ask you this before I get too far. Who is this movie for?
I want to say it's a family movie, but it's obviously not. There's far more cuss words and rude commentary than even my sick mind can imagine. The way I try to explain this to anybody, if you've got any sort of silly bone in you, or you like some crude, rude humor, give it a shot. Just give it a chance. You're probably going to find something about it you enjoy if you can be irreverent with your humor for a good 85 minutes.
It's aggressively nasty, though, correct? There are some scenes where, in 3 different moments in this film, MacGruber just starts begging people for things, and he just starts telling him that he will suck their dick. He's like, I don't know, you can do that, or you can watch me. Like, 3 times in this film. Like, he's just I can't think of any other character similar to this. And I think it's hilarious, because he's such a frail little man. And that's the joke.
And I think they take these moments and they take them to where I think everybody else would be afraid to go.
Yeah, and they keep going.
And it's how easily they can do it. And despite all the awful things and mistakes MacGruber makes, you somehow still like him to an extent. You're still cheering for him to succeed.
He's the worst. Oh, man. So during the sex scene that he has with Kristen Wiig, it was her birthday that day. And you can see during the scene that she's pulling away from him because it was really hot where they filmed in Albuquerque, and he was just sweating on her. And then I want to tell you a really funny story. So after he hooks up with Vicky Sadelmo, who he got shot in Nicaragua, which is really funny, he goes to his dead wife's grave, and she appears as a Force ghost, and then they have sex. And after the scene, after they're done having sex, and he's like, I shot, and she's like, I shot. As he's walking away, Will Forte really wanted to say, smell you later. And they wouldn't let him do it.
Oh my gosh. That'd be terrible.
And then he's like, he gets a bullet pulled out of his leg, and he's like, leave it. I love holes.
I like holes. I had to rewatch that a couple times because I love it when she goes, but I'm a virgin. He just says, shh, not for long.
Oh, yeah.
It's so awful. It's so just, oh my gosh,
But
it's terrible.
They take it so far. So I was watching the movie Hollow Man the other day, and we did a podcast about it. And it's very Verhoeven light, where a lot of the insane themes are just treated very lightly. And I think that makes it more disturbing. But when there are movies that know how crazy they are and go really far, like some of Paul Verhoeven's better movies, like Elle or even Starship Troopers, where he goes so far over the top, that makes it less weird and less offensive because they're going for it and you know what they're going for. It's not, does that make sense? They're not trying to make, they know they're being offensive, right?
Well, yeah, they're completely owning up to what it is and what it's going for. I feel like they started the movie off, within the first 15 minutes is pretty offensive and crazy. I mean, the intro credits right there, he's rocking out to a saxophone during the opening theme. So it's like everything they do, they've got to take it another step higher and further than what they previously did.
Yeah. And I think
it's like they've already crossed that line and there's no going back from that. And they welcome it with open arms.
It also works that in the beginning he's this monk who does a backflip, and every time he does something cool, a tiger growls. Or jaguar, I don't know what it is. But in the beginning when he walks out of the village, he's saying that these are my people, and the kids steal from him. And they just take they probably hate him there, right?
They must hate him, but I mean, like, what's he doing at that moment to make people hate him?
He's MacGruber.
I mean, he's MacGruber, but like, if you think about it, the only really interaction we've had with him up until that point that's real is Piper and Colonel Faith talking to him. And at that point, he hasn't turned into a giant butthead yet. And then all of a sudden, these little kids come up and rip off his necklace and run away. I mean, I wear a cross and chain. If someone came up and ripped that off of me and ran away, I'd be angry.
Yeah.
But so it's like after that moment, he just takes a drastic turn and gets his swagger back.
Wow. Yeah, he really does. He gets his Miata back. His car stereo
It's his little
back.
kid's fault.
They just ripped him off. That's what they think about him in that town. But I think that's such a way to set up the character perfectly. You have all these insane accolades. He does a backflip, but children steal from him. It's just a good. Oh, I love that. And I gotta tell you a funny story. So on the commentary, Powers Booth, who I think is a very good straight man in this movie. I think he's such a good straight man. Well, all right, so driving up that village, Ryan Phillippe didn't know how to drive stick. So as they're driving, Powers Booth was shifting the car while Ryan Phillippe was driving. Just wanted to tell you that. And then the car, he forgot to put the e-brake on and almost fell off the road. Almost went off the cliff behind him. There's a scene where MacGruber is begging Powers Booth's character to put him back on the mission. And he's like, I'll take care of you. I'll pleasure you. And Powers walked up to Jorma and said, how should I play this? Like he asked, it's just such a weird thing. Powers Booth walks up to you. You're a director. And this stupid, silly character is like asking to pleasure you, pleading. And Powers is thinking, how should I play this? And Jorma said, just like you're a sad father. Like, but that's right though. That's such a, there's good actors in this movie, and this is a well acted. I mean, this is Val Kilmer at his kiss kiss bang bang quippy best. Oh man, it's a good movie.
Wait, doesn't he say to Colonel Faith, I will suck your D, and then doesn't Faith say not this time?
I don't remember that.
Or it's something close to that. It's like, I'm not implying that there's a history between those two, but it's obviously this isn't the first time that Colonel Faith has heard this from MacGruber.
And why is Ryan Phillippe's character's name Dixon Piper?
Everyone's name. Dieter von Kuhn.
Now, your license plate when I met you is actually KFBR 392. And you know that Will Forte and that, so there's a scene where Will Forte's in his little car and some guy drives by and yells, "Stupid car." And Will Forte remembers his license plate. Later on in the film, when Ryan Phillippe is in the vehicle, he sees a notebook with the notebook of a madman. And it's just that license plate number written over and over. Will Ferrell wrote all that by himself. So,
Did he really?
Yeah, between takes. But that crazy music comes on. And it's like a horror film for that part. And then he finds that car later on and smashes it.
You know, you bring up a good point with that, with like the horror sound effects while he's looking through that.
Oh, man.
You know, it's like diving into like, you know, the secrets behind a serial killer type of thing. And then the moment he closes that notebook and throws it on the ground or back on the table, that music and sound effects stop.
It's so good.
It is good. There's a lot of really well done moments in this movie.
The most uncomfortable scene in this film for me is when if you've seen MacGruber, if you're listening to this, but there's a scene where he's like, "I'll be at this a cafe at 2:00," and instead of him going in there, he makes Kristen Wiig dress up like him, and he's very attracted to her when she dresses like that, by the way.
You look very pretty.
And she orders a small latte. He's like, "No, large Tazo tea," and she gives a tip. I love when she gives a tip to the barista, and MacGruber just hears it. He's like, "Take out the tip." No tip. And she takes the money back from the bowl. It's just the most uncomfortable thing. And then he's 20 blocks away from her because he doesn't want to pay for meters.
He doesn't want to pay. He doesn't want to pay for the parking meters.
How is he one of the greatest war heroes ever?
He's just that good. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's like somebody that constantly steps on their own feet but still gets it done, still finds a way to push through. And I think that's what a hero is. Someone that rises to the occasion.
And he just never backs down. So some of my favorite movie characters are Jack Burton and Ash Williams. And he is he's Jack Burton times 8, and he's Ash times 3. They're all kind of blowhards. But what I like about them is they're always in over their heads, but they keep moving forward with it. And they have more capable people around them.
That's a good point.
And MacGruber, he's not going to be stopped. He's dogged. And I think that's one thing that's really, and he can get shot in the leg, not bleed out, and have the bullet hole open and heal very quickly. They never hear about that. So he's not human, right?
And people always underestimate him for his failures, and they never look at what he actually does and succeeds.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, like, no one thinks, he always talks about ripping throats is what he does. And you never think he's going to actually do it. And then he does it, and you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely incredible. It's very gross, but it's insane. Like, MacGruber has finally arrived. The guy that we've been hearing about for, the better part of an hour and a half finally has showed up.
And then the celery in the butt scene. So he had to hold it. Like they were talking about rigs and how to build it in there, and Jorma's like, "I have a great job. I'm talking about how to build a rig to keep celery in Will Forte's butt." But he just held it underneath his balls. But that's a successful diversion.
It is, and he takes credit for the 2 kills as well.
Which is Ryan Phillippe waxes 3 people, and he's like, "Yeah, I did that." What? I mean, but it's successful. So he does things that he just keeps moving. He's just like once you set him in motion, he's not stopping. He's like a snowball that goes down a mountain.
It turns into an avalanche at the end.
They hated the ending because they ran out of time and they didn't know how to make a better ending, so he just rips out the core. And they said that whenever they watch with audiences, that's the least favorite part. Did you like it at the end when he just rips that thing out?
I actually do like it because I've seen all of the SNL MacGruber skits, and everything always ends with, them exploding, and you assume that they die every time, and he never actually diffuses anything. And so he opens up the missile, and there's like a million wires, and he admits he's more of like a 3-wire guy himself, and he can't do it, which is like the first time he admits to like failing at something. But then he finds a way. He circumvents it and finds another way, and he takes out the thermal nuclear core, and then he pulls out the guidance system. And I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen another every single action movie has every movie is doing things where they're disarming bombs and weapons, and it's always like cutting a wire or Batman's rig taking the nuclear device over Lake Michigan or something like that. But but like this movie, like you never think of them taking out the core. Why it's in the nose, I don't know, and why the guidance system is up there, I don't know either. But you never see anything like that. So I do think it's unique, and I enjoy it.
No, is your favorite part of this movie Kristen Wiig as Vicky St. Elmo? Because she's mine.
I love Kristen Wiig and everything.
But in this movie, he keeps dressing her up. So he dresses her up as MacGruber, and then he dresses her up as the Vonick, I think was his name, the guy who was shooting at them. Let's see, where was he? Zeke, maybe? I think it was Zeke. One of the guys.
Zeke? No, it was. Oh my gosh.
I had his
Hossbender.
Yeah, Hossbender. That's what it is. And who gets smushed by a mop? He's like, yeah, it'll be a great commercial for this mop. No, it won't. He keeps dressing her up, and at the end, she's like, I peed. I peed myself. And then when she's dealing with Val Kilmer, he pulls down her. She's gagged, and she's like, I'll stick her where the sun doesn't shine. He's like, where's that? And she's like, up your butt, up your butthole. And then there's another scene where Val Kilmer's like, oh, you would like, so she says something. He's like, oh, you would do me? And she goes, ew, no. And her song, 2 is a wonderful number, and 3 is a crowd that's true, but 4 is the perfect number, for sure if it's 2 kids and me and you. What does that mean?
It's so cheesy. It's so terrible.
But at the end, there's 3 of them.
MacGruber thinks she's an incredible lyricist.
They have a banging bod, great dresser, and they wear the same color outfits at the parties.
Yeah, they do.
Like one's stuck in the 80s and the other one's stuck in MacGruber's 80s, right? Would you say? One's Vicky, 80s too?
I would say MacGruber's early 80s, late 70s, and Vicky's got to be. I mean, she's wearing like that pantsuit. Didn't that stuff start coming around in like the 60s?
Yeah. They're both from other decades.
They're not dressed appropriately for that party, that's for sure.
Why? What was the mission in Nicaragua that got her shot?
Oh man, I don't.
And what does she do? Because she infiltrated the party, and she was actually she was doing good work inside of that party, getting deep intel, but MacGruber got thrown out, and he got his CD player broken, and he made her leave. That handsome guy over there. Oh, so there's a scene where they've infiltrated a party, and she's talking to MacGruber. She's like, yeah, they're over there by that handsome guy. Oh, this handsome, why don't you marry him? He's such an idiot. He's such a terrible character.
If he's so handsome, why don't you quit your job and go marry him?
I know we're just raining stuff out here, but whatever. But I think my favorite line reading by Val Kilmer is later on in the film. He's like, thanks for the upper decker, MacGruber.
That's one of my favorite lines. And not necessarily Dieter von Kunt's line, but just the idea of an upper decker. And for those of you that don't know, it's where you go poop in the tank and not the bowl. It's like, I think we've all been to those places, and we've all been to those people's houses that we just don't like, and we've wanted to leave them an upper decker. And it's all thanks to MacGruber.
All right, so he knows
I love it because he walks into the party. So it's like, so they get the invite to the party, and the door opens to Eddie Money's. His car door opens to Eddie Money's "Take Me Home Tonight," and that's like my all-time favorite party song. And it's all slow motion, him walking up to the guard that's like guarding the party, and he just flips him off. And he just walks right through into the party. And the first thing he says, he asks where Vicky is, and then he goes, "But first I need to take care of something." And so then he disappears for a few minutes, and he comes back, and it turns out that he was taking an upper decker in the master bedroom.
And Dieter knows it was him.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so awful.
But see, Dieter didn't even know. Oh no, Dieter knew he was at the party because, he didn't know that he was at the club. He shows up to the club.
Club, yeah.
Yeah, but when he's at that party, he walks up on Dieter. He's like, "Oh, you're taking him real young." Like, he calls this girl, he insults her, and Val Kilmer's like, "That's my daughter." And then he has a senator lose $700,000.
It just backfires very quickly.
He's bluffing. Oh, man. And I love how he keeps falling for everything that Dieter says. So I put together the world's greatest crew, but I had some homemade C4 and it blew up. Oh my gosh, I had that happen as well.
We have a lot in common.
Oh, man. All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more MacGruber. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Tom and I, we just got some throat lozenges, didn't we?
We needed them. We were about to get cold turkeyed.
Now, I just want you to know something. I'm going to watch him watch me kill you right in front of him. Then I'm going to watch me kill him in a mirror. Then I'm going to watch TV. I hope there's something good on. Oh, man, what a great line. So so in college, before this movie came out, my friends and I, we made a movie called Dirty Hoffmeyer, a short. And in the movie, Dirty Hoffmeyer is tasked with chasing down this drug dealer. And there's some similar lines. There's a big fight between the drug dealer and Dirty Hoffmeyer. And Dirty Hoffmeyer comes home, and the drug dealer is waiting for him. And the drug dealer's like, Hoffmeyer, you got a great movie collection. I'm going to borrow some of these after I kill you. That's a line. And then there's also another line, I want you to kill him and then kill him again. So I wonder. I'm telling you, man.
I see some similarities here.
And like, there's a scene where Dirty Hoffmeyer is talking to this guy, his informant. And he's like, man, you on drugs? You on this? He goes, he's like, you on oregano? And the guy goes, yeah. I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, if I had some, I'd smoke it. And then there's a scene where I shake down a guy. I give him a bunch of cash for some info. And then he asks me what the secret, like, ingredient is to my potato salad. And it's Worcester. Then I get all my money back. He's like, what's the ingredient to your potato salad? I'm like, $20. So all the money I just gave him, I get back. Because I told him the secret ingredient to mine.
That just sounds like good business to me.
I know I'm talking about something I shot and laughing about it, but it's very MacGruber-esque. It's not as vulgar. I don't think we used any profanity in it. It's like the PG version of MacGruber, which I don't know would work. I don't know if that would work.
You know what I really love about this movie is the dialogue.
Oh, for
and
sure.
how snappy and quick everything is. You know, I was just thinking about this a minute ago, is that there is a line in this movie for every instance in your life.
Let's hear
like,
him.
if you just wanted, I mean, there's so many of them, but it's just like, if you wanted just to reply in MacGruberisms to every conversation, you probably could do it. My memory is not good enough to do that, but that's why I mostly reply in MacGruber gifs every time we text.
Or what about, so he's untouchable. I'll touch him wherever I want. Or someone's like,
your nose, rookie.
Your guy can't help you, but I can. Now, so when you and I worked on sets together, you called everybody turds, frickin' turds.
I did.
And I did not know that was from MacGruber. I just thought that was an Iowa Tom thing. But
no,
yeah,
that was straight up. That was a MacGruber line.
From every third sentence, you called someone a turd. So do you live the doctrine of this film?
I do. It is my holy doctrine.
I feel like your online presence, as far as commenting on things, is very MacGruber-esque.
I do drop a lot of those gifs on Facebook, especially with like MacGruber, like slow motion screaming right after he gets his hair cut, or like his awkward like acknowledgement of one of his possible team members making out in the auto shop.
Oh yeah, I can't believe they got Big Show to do that, and that was the DP. The director of photography. Yeah. He
I
wanted
didn't know
to do that.
That's great. That is so awesome.
What was
and he's the only guy that lives too, of all MacGruber's former teammates. He's the only guy that ends up making it to the end of the movie.
It's it's kind of crappy of him that he doesn't bring him with, right? Because he doesn't he just scratches his name out. That'd have been funnier if he brought him with. Because that would add another element to his character. Not just like a homophobic element, more of like he just doesn't care.
He would have to change his dialogue then, because then it wouldn't be 100 years of combined combat experience. It'd be like 120.
100. So those 6 guys, that makes sense because some of them are in their 40s. Well, they're all in their 50s, so they had to have.
You know, that scene where they all die in the van is probably one of my all-time greatest oh crap moments.
Oh no.
Tug. You guys okay?
I did not see that happening. Did you?
No. I mean, there's that occasional movie, you know, one movie every couple of years that really gives you that incredible, unbelievable moment of oh my God, did that just happen? And this just like tops everything.
How did he know what target Tug was going to be behind throwing knives into?
It's a good point.
No, wait, Tanker. Tanker Lutz.
Tanker Lutz.
How did he know?
He's probably fortunate that how hard Tanker's throwing those knives, it didn't go through the target and into him.
Tanker did not see him. So Tanker gets there, goes to his lane, and MacGruber's behind it already, waiting.
Yeah, he must have shown up really early for that.
I just wanted to marinate on that for a little bit. It's pretty interesting. And then, so Tug Phelps was played by Dalip Singh, who was the Great Khali in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did their fist bump, obviously his English wasn't that great. So when they did the fist bump, he didn't know that you're just supposed to bash fists kind of nicely. So the first take, he just smashed Will Forte's hand. And his hand is so big, Will Forte got smushed by him from that fist bump.
I love how they all have like the fist bumps, handshakes or whatever. Like they all have, or like the commando hand slap between Carl Weathers and Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
Like they all have their little mannerisms with each other. And those other guys' hands are so huge. They're just monsters.
You know what? I'm kind of worried about this. What would the movie have been like if they lived?
I don't know if I don't know. I feel like they had to die because it had to come back to Dixon Piper and Vicky St. Elmo. It's like unless they got kidnapped and it becomes a rescue mission.
I guess then the world will never have Tug.
Oh God, you guys okay?
Now, I just gotta say, I know we're quoting lines. I just gotta do one thing. There's a line in this where MacGruber tells Vicky that he's happy she's alive. He's like, these vests, like, they're cheap, but they're really hard to find. I only have 2 of them.
It's like you think he's gonna compliment or like, express that he's happy that she survived, but it turns out he's just more happy because the vest didn't get torn up.
So where does this rank as far as SNL films for you?
Oh man, that's a tough one when you factor in like Wayne's World for me.
I did my top 5 if you want to hear it.
Yeah, do it.
All right, so I'll let you think while I explain these. So 5, I'm putting Coneheads because I just like it then more than, there's Night at the Roxbury, that doesn't really hold up. Maybe Ladies Man, but no, yeah, it's definitely Coneheads. 4 was easy for me, Wayne's World 2. I love that movie. I think it's a good sequel. It repeats a lot of the stuff, but I still like spending time with these guys. Then it's MacGruber, Blues Brothers, Wayne's World. So MacGruber is my 3rd favorite SNL film because Wayne's World and Blues Brothers are Stone Cold classics. That's not hyperbole. I love these films. And MacGruber, it has a massive cult following. It's NBC shows in development. People enjoy it. But I got to give Wayne's World and Blues Brothers more credit than MacGruber. So I'm putting MacGruber 3. What would you do?
Man, that's tough for me. Boy. And now I'm looking here, like Three Amigos, that also was a SNL movie, I believe.
That came from them?
I think it originally came as a skit from SNL. I'd have to look into it, but I believe it was originally a skit.
Well, that'd be number 2 then.
Man, I don't know. I would
Superstar, it's Pat.
Let me see here. That would probably be I'm going to probably go, probably easier if I break it going from top. Top 1 is probably Blues Brothers for me, then Wayne's World and MacGruber, and then I'm probably going to have to go Wayne's World 2, and then Three Amigos. But of all those movies, I think MacGruber is by far and away the most rewatchable film for me.
Oh, if I had to put one of them on right now, it would be MacGruber. Because Blues Brothers is great, but I just don't want to watch it all the time. I'd watch Wayne's World, but I think the top 3 are pretty easy. Every list, I looked at a bunch of lists, and these were the 3. So that sometimes Blues Brothers was split with Wayne's World, but they were all 1, 2, 3 every time. MacGruber's good. It just wasn't made for. It was made for a very tiny audience. An R-rated SNL skit with an aggressively horrible lead character. Oh man. And no A-list star either. It was just Will Forte. But it was only a $10 million budget. So it's a shame that it didn't make that much. It's kind of weird how Hot Rod tanked. Popstar never stopped stopping tanked. This tanked. But they all had such a great life on video because they're funny. They're good.
Well, and MacGruber dropped something crazy like 2,300 theaters after the first week of its release.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm wondering, and I haven't dove into it, but I'm wondering what else came out at that time to make it suddenly drop off that much.
Yeah, because it fell.
I mean, that's a hard fall.
So it came
That's
out
like
in
a
May.
98% drop off. I mean, it's crazy.
May 2010 movies. So let's see here. Oh, there was Iron Man 2 in May. Let's see. May 10. Oh, there was... Oh, wow, yeah. This was kind of in trouble. So here we go. May... Oh, yeah. Shrek Forever After came out. That probably knocked some of the Robin Hood. No, there wasn't much stuff in May. Iron Man 2 was still doing well.
That's a tough drop.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for it, too. I mean, I feel like, 10 million budget is not a big budget for movies these days, and it would have grossed right around 10 million as well.
I mean, all right, this movie, you're a studio executive. Do you expect this movie you watch this movie, you love it, right? This is a funny movie. But you can't be surprised that it didn't do well. Would you be surprised to see it not doing well?
Yeah, a little bit, just for the fact that I think past Saturday Night Live movies, for the most part, did do okay. I mean, not all of them. You've got a couple tanks in there, like Ladies Man, Blues Brothers 2000.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich? I love
It's
that.
Pat. I mean, that only grossed $60,000 in the U.S. I mean, that's bad. But I mean, I guess Coneheads tanked as well. But like Wayne's World did well, Blues Brothers did well. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's one of those, if you can find that niche audience, but it's such a low budget, it's a low risk, higher reward type of scenario.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like if it could have stayed in theaters for even another week, it probably makes its budget back. And then everything else after that, and then DVD sales, you're going to be into the positive, but that didn't happen.
I mean, good news for MacGruber. If this tanked now, its secondary life wouldn't be massive. But since it fell so badly in 2010, this is when people are still buying DVDs and Blu-rays. So I'd imagine this DVD floated around between college areas and kind of people in their 20s.
Oh, yeah. It's a fantastic, especially for that age group, it's a fantastic party movie. Get a couple drinks in you, get a little laid back, and you're going to have a good time with it.
During their eulogies, when Tug dies, he says a bunch of F-bombs, but the kids were laughing.
That's one of my favorite exchanges. But there were kids present. They laughed because of your use of heavy language. And then there's just a little dead break. And then he goes, well, F them.
Yeah.
I love it.
The game has changed, but the players are the same. You can just read the script out because there's just so much. Oh, man, I love so many of the quotes in this.
You know what's crazy? We were watching the credits last night, and I knew back when so you've got a connection to this movie, too. You worked on Premature with me, right?
Yeah.
The prop master from Premature was the prop master from MacGruber, Jason Davis.
Really?
Yeah. So if you want to do your 7 Degrees connection, you got it right there.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's a couple other PAs that I've worked with, and one I just worked with last summer, who are now both assistant directors, but they were additional PAs on this movie, too.
Premature? How long ago was that you and I worked? Was that when I first met you?
Yes, and that would have been 2010. So this movie would have just come out.
I remember
And I remember Jason Davis saying how crazy of a shoot it was, how nutty and gnarly and tough, but how fun it was, and that he actually thought it was a rewarding movie.
I mean, 28 days. That's going to kill you.
That's a fast shoot.
And Premature worked because we were in basically one location. We could just film over and over.
Yeah, at that school.
That was a weird one. I was managing Comic-Cons at the time. Then I got brought into that. I just thought I was going to be there for a couple days. And they're like, all right, Mark, you're staying around. I'm like, what?
Thank goodness you did.
Yeah. I mean, that happened to me on 4 different shows. I think people knew how to trick me because since I was doing Comic-Cons, I did a lot of pilots. That's just 7-8 days. Pilots are gnarly, dude. Oh my gosh. That's like, you never sleep working pilots. You gotta set all the mics out. Did you do the reshoots on Premature?
No, I did not.
Oh, I had to do the walkies on that, brother. But that was like a 20-hour day. What was I getting at? I forget. Yeah, but people kept roping me into these shoots, and I kept finding myself working on full movies. Hey, bring Mark. We'll trick him. Oh, that's money, man. You can't complain. Did you watch Premature?
So, I never ended up seeing it. It was wasn't it on like Amazon or Netflix at one point?
It's still on Netflix.
I might have to check it out.
It has heart. It grows on you. I like that kid, his friend. I liked him.
His goofy friend, isn't he in like Red Oaks? That's on Netflix?
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Yeah. I remember seeing him on that poster a couple years ago.
I don't know how much we can talk about. There was a day when I had to lock up an entire street by myself, and there was about 30 houses. And so I was sprinting up and down lawns all day. I don't know if you remember that. But
that movie was a mess.
But they're riding bikes, and that kid, I was like locking up a car, and that kid was funny, but he just drove by flicking me off the entire time.
He had just watched MacGruber.
Yeah, and I was like, I like this kid. He's funny, man. I was like, I hope he does well. But yeah, because he just drove by on his bike, flicking me off the whole time. I was out of breath, sprinting up and down the street. But I mean, yeah. I would have liked working on this movie because this is Jorma's first big film. There's probably a lot of pressure on it. But the material is so insane. It just would have been fun to see them pull that off and move so quickly, and the lighting. I think, yeah, you're right. Like, this is one of those movies that the 28 days punches you right in the face, but a month later, that was really rewarding.
I think that schedule must have been otherworldly intense. But, I don't know Will Forte. I haven't heard anything negative about him or any of the cast for that matter. But I'd have to think that despite it being the pressure being that high and that difficult, everyone was probably still having fun. I mean, it's tough not to have fun when you're dropping this type of dialogue.
Yeah.
Like most of the time on a set, when we're shooting a scene, all the crew just kind of go off and do their own thing. They go get lost or bury themselves in their phone. As long as they're quiet, none of us really care. But it's like I can see everybody staying on set just to see what Will Forte does next.
Oh yeah, just to see how Ryan Phillippe deals with it.
I don't know how him and Powers Booth just don't lose it.
What'd you think about Phillippe in this movie? I thought he was a solid straight man.
I thought he was good too. I mean, there was a couple of times they tried to add some humor to him that I don't think necessarily goes with his character and what he's about. But he's a good opposite to Farrell. Not to Farrell, to Forte.
I learned a lot working with you the last few days. All of it, what not to do. But that's something.
I think one of my favorite lines, I gotta say it before I forget it. Dixon Piper goes, wait, so we're just gonna wing it. And MacGruber looks at him and goes, Piper, there's a big difference between winging it and seeing what happens. Now let's see what happens. I bet I use that line every single day of my life.
That's a great line. And I also love when he's like, I don't want to use the F word, but we boned last night. I don't want to ruin the sanctity of it.
I don't want to diminish the value.
And then,
but I banged her.
And so he hooked up with Vicky St. Elmo, and then he goes and he hooks up with Casey's ghost. And he looks at Vicky St. Elmo later on in the movie, and he's like, I porked Casey's ghost last night. And he goes, we'll talk about it later.
Oh, those sex scenes are so uncomfortable. They're so ridiculous.
And they go on, and then he's like, I'll fill you up. And then she goes, I'll fill you up. No.
Let me do the talking.
And then the one with Maya Rudolph just keeps going, yeah. She was like 8 months pregnant during that scene in real life.
I remember reading that. That is nuts.
And she's like, yeah. And then he's like, I shot. And she's like, I shot too.
It's so uncomfortable.
And a stupid radio that he carries around with him. I mean, people did that. Remember when people take the face off of their radio?
Oh, man, what's that radio called? Like a bloke? Oh, man, I mess it up every time. It's this very specific kind of radio from like the 80s.
And then he got one for his birthday from Ryan Phillippe, and he was so happy about it.
Oh, man.
And the AD was the guy who got his car smashed, who came out yelling. That was the first AD.
No, I didn't know that. That's great. He's a
Yeah.
big dude.
Yeah, he seems like a first AD, doesn't it?
No wonder MacGruber runs away after that.
MacGruber. Oh man. And then the end. All right, so Val Kilmer shows up, and
He survives the warhead.
all right, so he gets exploded. No, he gets kicked off a cliff, and then he gets shot, and then he
While
gets
falling.
yeah, and then he gets blown up, right? And then MacGruber pisses on him.
What's great about that piss reveal though is like the angle is on his dead, blown up, burned out body, and then you just start seeing the trickle of pee. But you can tell like it's not like a good heavy solid stream of urine like that goes straight from an individual into the toilet. Like this, you can tell has been traveling hundreds of feet onto the body. Like the spray is all over the place.
Oh man. And then later on at the wedding, they have a bunch of photos, and he puts up a no tip sign for one of the guys, and then he ends up
It's
having
the same dude.
Yeah.
It's the same barista. That poor guy.
and then they have sex on the dance floor. It's the weirdest movie, isn't it?
Classic MacGruber.
All right, so we put together a crew. You want to get into our crew right now, so we're not just quoting lines from this anymore?
Yes.
We put together a killer stopper crew, correct? Is that the name of it?
So yeah, I love that line in the movie too. Pontconn's put a dream team of killers together. Well, I'll put my own dream team of killer stoppers.
I gotta find my list here.
Going old school, MacGruber notebook.
Well, I like it because that way I don't have a computer on my lap. Sometimes it's kind of annoying when you just have you feel like you have a computer with you at all times. So sometimes when I write a lot of notes, I just like to have a notebook, so I feel like I'm not staring at a computer.
I've got MacGruber handwriting though, so if I start writing too much, I can't even read my own handwriting.
Megan told me that my writing looks like the writing of a madman. So if someone grabbed this book, they would need like a code cracker to figure out what was going on with this. It's in Mark speak. All right, who's your first? So we're doing killer stoppers, right? So you pick 5, I pick 5, and we'll break them down.
So I'm a giant Bruce Willis, John McClane fan, but I feel like he is kind of a dude that lives in the moment. All of his movies, he's never really planning that far ahead. He's always more of a reactionary type of guy. So I discluded him from this list. So I just want to throw that out there, and I don't feel good about it, but I wanted to challenge myself.
Well, I'm glad you did, man.
With that said, this isn't a very original pick, but my top choice is probably Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible.
Ooh, Ethan Hunt, M.I. Well, I mean, he's a killer stopper. You don't even need a team with him.
No, you don't.
I'm all for it. His running got me a lot of reads, so
That's true.
I'm a lot of reads, so I'm cool with Tom Cruise being on any list. Mine is Gunnar Jensen from The Expendables, played by Dolph Lundgren.
That's a good one.
He's a scientist. He's a maniac. He's huge. He lives through all 3 of them. He knows how to work a tank. You need muscle.
I was very close to adding an Expendables guy onto this as well.
All right, so you got to have Dolph. You got to have Gunnar Jensen. So who's yours? Who's your next one?
I feel like you need some sort of analyst in there to kind of get a jump on what's going on, and that's Jack Ryan.
Whoa! Please say Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's the Harrison Ford one.
Oh, no,
I do
Chris Pine.
like Chris Pine's all right, but I do really like Alec Baldwin's from Hunt for Red October.
Oh yeah, which one you want?
I gotta go Ford.
All right, Ford. I love Patriot Games, man, and Clear and Present Danger. That scene
Very good.
where the convoy gets shot up and they're like, go, 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 go. They won't stop. Oh man, that's so good. I love those movies. Another Sean Bean classic death scene.
Yeah, it is.
Stabbed and then blown up.
And that's Patriot Games that he's in, right?
Yeah, it's so good. All right, this is a team, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. Topper Harley and Ramona from Hot Shots Part 2.
Ooh, I like that.
Because, they have the highest death record ever. And they can go undercover. They know how to fly planes. They know how to ride horses. They know how to ride motorcycles. They're great with weapons, bow and arrows.
And I'd have Ramona on any team as well.
But I want them as a team. So that's my second pick. Who you got for 3?
James Bond.
James Bond. Which one?
That'll be Daniel Craig for me. I love the old Connery movies, but in my mind, like the new James Bond is Daniel Craig, and I'm going to be very sad when he's done after this next movie.
Imagine having Tom Cruise, Harrison Ford, and Daniel Craig on screen together. Well, that almost happened on Aliens and Cowboys. Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig.
Now that you just mentioned those three names, I feel like my list is not very original now. All I've taken out is Bruce Willis.
All right, so I'm gonna add.
Gonna get even worse.
I'm gonna add Roman from the Fast and Furious films.
Ooh, okay.
Because every crew can't. He's not an alpha, but he's there every step of the way. So they had to force him to drop out of that thing in Fast 7. But he's always driving around. He's running away from submarines. He's hanging on the doors. You just can't stop the guy. He's hungry. But you need a guy like him on your team. You don't need all alphas. So I'm doing Roman Pierce from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay, that's a good one.
All right, who you got?
My list is going to get even worse now. I feel I got Harry Tasker from True Lies.
Ooh, I like him.
So now I've got
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
All right, I'll go real weird. Okay, this is gonna be really weird, but I'm doing Dae-Soo from Old Boy, played by Choi Min-sik, and the guy's just unstoppable. And a lot of killer stoppers are out for revenge. So you put him on the case, give him a hammer, some octopus, you're set. Like, he's just going to keep moving forward. He's the killer of the group. You need that murderer.
That's a good one.
All right, who's your last?
So my final one, this one is kind of out of left field here. It is Lieutenant Colonel Thomas DeVoe, and that's George Clooney's character from The Peacemaker.
Ooh, DeVoe, Peacemaker. I remember.
I just rewatched that a couple months back, and it's a solid movie.
So your team has George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Daniel Craig, Harrison Ford, and
Tom Cruise.
Hey, if we blend them up with my squad. All right, so I'm going to add 2 from Six Underground, Melanie Laurent.
Ooh, okay.
That movie's insane. My wife Megan is obsessed with it. She thinks it's just insanity, and she loves it. But I don't know. It's just weird that Melanie Laurent is in that film, and she's a badass. And I like her killing people on screen, so I'm going to add Melanie Laurent 2 from Six Underground.
That's a good choice.
So we have Ethan Hunt, Jack Ryan, Gunnar Jensen, Topper Harley and Ramona, Dae-Soo, Roman Pierce, James Bond, Harry Tasker, DeVoe, and 2. So who do you think needs to be in this?
Man, Gunnar. Because you need the muscle. You just need, he's obviously an incredibly intelligent guy, but he's also just a dude that goes in there and just wrecks havoc.
Yeah, we need Gunnar.
I would say he's muscle before brain, and I think at that point, at times you need that muscle.
I kind of want Harry Tasker because I love his character in that movie.
Yeah, he's that too.
What do you think? Because he could be the leader, right? Or no?
Out of my group, I don't know who the heck the leader is. Part of me probably thinks it's either Hunt or Jack Ryan.
It's Jack Ryan because he doesn't want to go in the field all the time. How would you James Bond couldn't be a leader because he doesn't care about leading.
No.
Maybe Clooney. I don't know.
Clooney's definitely, he's a leader. He's a team player. I could see him and an Ethan Hunt working well together.
Can we add 2 Melanie Laurent on our team?
Yeah.
All right. So who should be? We have 3. We have Harry Tasker, Gunnar, and 2. Who else should be on here?
I feel like you need that dude that's going to run the analyst of everything. I feel like you got to have Jack Ryan.
Oh, I'm all for that. Get some hair forward. So now we have Ethan Hunt, Topper Harley and Ramona, Dae-Soo, Roman, James Bond, DeVoe, and DeVoe. So we have 6 people left. We need to pick 1. What's calling your name?
Man, that's a tough choice.
We don't have a driver yet. So
but is Roman even the best driver out of Fast and the Furious?
Well, Too Fast, Too Furious, he's driving. Fast 7, he's driving. Along the streets, he never gets blown up. In Fast 6, he wipes out. Yeah, so it'd have to be Bond, right? Or Ethan Hunt.
Yeah, they're both incredible drivers.
Who do we want? Ethan Hunt or Bond?
Man, that's such a tough choice. I can't pick it.
I'm going Bond.
Hunt's crashed his vehicles, but then again, Bond flipped his vehicle to avoid running over somebody.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
I feel like he could have just put on the brakes and skidded sideways. Instead, he completely rolled the vehicle.
Oh.
But Hunt hit that, in the newest movie, he hit hit a vehicle on his motorcycle and went over the hood of it. So, they both have their flaws.
All right, let's go with Bond.
I like Bond.
All right, so we have Harry Tasker, Gunner, 2, Jack Ryan, and Bond. That's fun.
That's a good list.
I like it.
I'd watch MacGruber with those guys.
So this was fun, man. Thanks for pitching this movie and joining me on this.
Man, we could do a whole second part to this movie.
And just say all the lines.
Just literally read the script to the podcast fans.
That's what I was worried about with this movie, so I did a ton of research. Because it could have become an and then episode, if that makes sense. And then. But no, I think we did it, man. This was fun. I think we dropped enough about the film. People get a good thing from it.
And the crazy thing is, we didn't even drop an F-bomb.
Whoa.
So I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that this movie is better than it has any right to be, or that we just managed this podcast without dropping an F-bomb.
Probably, man, and we didn't even plan on doing that.
No, we didn't.
I think that's pretty impressive. Can we fit one in there naturally? Probably not.
Probably not. It'd be forced, but then again, I think all the F-bombs are forced in the movie, but that's what makes it so fantastic.
This was good. So what do you want to do next? What's our next movie? Oh, we're doing Drop Zone, right?
Yeah, we need to do that still.
Drop Zone and Terminal Velocity next. Oh, man, that's going to be fun.
Yes, the skydiving masterpieces.
That's awesome. So this was fun, man. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Tom Trezmer, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.